Hello and welcome to the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series tonight from Bristol for 250 laps around the Coliseum. Drivers right now on track taking their qualifying times, and we are looking at Seth Merchant, fastest driver in practice. He also comes in is currently leading the points, 3 wins on the season in this number 24 machine. So pretty good season so far for Seth as he leads the playoff picture. And the bottom of the playoff grid, it's definitely a tight race. 37 points separating 16th to 21st in the standings. So could get interesting here tonight at Bristol as drivers beat and bang and maybe don't end up with the finishes that you'd expect. Let's see if anybody else is out on track. Taking their lap times, Justin DeReich in the number 19 Auto Owners Camry. Really trying to put his fast time down. Seth Merchant did put down a very quick lap of 14:58. Carl Dodson, yesterday's winner in the iRacing Fantasy National Series, currently sitting second on the boards right now. We'll have to see how he does throughout tonight's race. Yesterday's co-commentator Justin Boyle's currently out on track as well. He's sitting 6th on the grid at the moment in that number 10 machine. So good job so far for him. I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors here tonight. Alpha Ornamental Metals sponsoring tonight's event. You can type in the chat on Twitch, !Alpha. We solve your ornamental metal needs, including steel, aluminum, and iron. Also home of the STREAMLINE Railing. You can find them over on Facebook, where you can learn more about what they do. Also, Rapid Fired Pizza. You can type in the command !Pizza, and you can learn a little bit more about them. Amazingly good, amazingly fast, fresh-made pizza, ready in just 180 seconds. Try one of their craft pizzas or choose from over 35 fresh toppings and a dozen different sauces to create your own masterpiece. And what we've made a tradition here in this series so far, we like to ask the drivers when we're doing interviews with them which pizza topping is their favorite from Rapid Fire Pizza. Just looking at the 53 of Daniel Hallis here. Let's bring up our weather conditions tonight. 89 degree air temp and 90 degree track temp. And we are under the night condition here, so that is a pretty warm condition. You actually see the track dropping temperature as we're looking at it, so we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the race. As it gets cooler, these drivers will have more grip in the front end of their cars to turn down into the corner and also turn out of the exit. And we got more drivers here this week than last week, I believe. And most of them have taken their times here tonight. Daniel Hill is still trying to get some more laps in. But we look forward to another exciting event here. Bristol is a great little track, often called the fastest half mile in the world. And definitely exciting racing happens here. They're currently running the Cup race in real life, and I've got a little glimpse of that right here on my phone as well, so I have to see what kind of action happens there. But that race, 500 laps. Tonight's race, 250 laps around the Coliseum, and we're going to have 3 stages. The first one ending at lap 75, second at lap 150, and then the conclusion of the race at lap 250. So we will try and keep an eye on those positions in the top 10 as we get to the end of the stages. I know yesterday we had a couple mix-ups when the stages came out, so we weren't totally sure when those were happening, but looks like nobody else on track right now, and I believe Seth the Merchant is going to be the pole winner here tonight, so good lap there by Seth, and carrying on his speed from practice. And I have raced with Seth personally, and definitely a quick driver, and tons of skill, races with tons of respect, And we're going to hide our ticker and bring up our starting grid tonight at Bristol for 250 laps. Seth DeMerchant on the pole. So congratulations once again to Seth for capturing that pole position. Carl Dodson, yesterday's winner, going to be rolling off in that second position. Let's see if we can get a picture of our grid here. There we go. Carl Dodson rolling off in second. Third place is going to be Taylor Butcher Benjamin in that number 11 machine, who started on the pole in the real world. That was Denny Hamlin with the pole tonight. So rolling off third here in the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series. Curtis Valenzuela starting to the outside in fourth. Chris Echeperry going to be starting in fifth, and Evan Longacre rolling off in sixth. Yesterday's co-commentator Justin Boyle is going to be rolling off in seventh here tonight. Daniel Hallis going to be rolling off on the outside in eighth position. Christopher White going to be starting in ninth here tonight at Bristol, and rounding out the top 10 is Justin DeReich in the number 19 machine. Carson Bowers starting in 11th position. Jeremy Boucher rolling off in 12th here. Brandon Andrews starting 13th. John Dicker rolling off in 14th. Matthew Benjamin starting 15th. And Jordan Brockle starting 16th. Rick Webb going to be rolling off in 17th position, with Chris Parkman starting in 18th. And first of the drivers to not take times here, so only 17 drivers taking a lap time in qualifying. Jonathan Hernandez is going to be starting 19th. Spencer Tart 20th. Josh Bearden rolling off 21st. Richard Springer 22nd. Derek Runge rolling off in 23rd. And Jacob Shorba showing here on the grid in 24th. We'll have to see. I think Jacob finally got his computer fixed, so I believe he is running tonight. 25th, Brian Pizzakemi. 26th, Timothy Latham. 27th, Roger Gregory. Justin Carey rolling off 28th. Troy Sabat 29th. And Ryan Strunk rounds out the top 30. 31st is going to be James Love. 32nd, Robert Carroll in the 000 machine. Dallas Hunt 33rd. Derek Schimmel 34th. And that concludes our field here tonight. So 34 drivers taking to the field here at Bristol. Let's go take a look at the front as the pace car has started to roll. It's going to be the 24 and the 3 on the front row for the start of this race. And you are watching a presentation here on V-Speed. This is the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, and we also present the iRacing Fantasy National Series on Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern as well. So just stay tuned for those broadcasts. We won't be broadcasting this league for the next couple of weeks because I will be out on vacation, but we've broadcasted them now. This is the second week, and it's been a fun time. Lots of great drivers and great people in this league. Very passionate about sim racing. But we stream every race on Twitch, and we actually just became Twitch affiliate. And if you're interested in subscribing, you can hit the command ! subscribe, or just hit that little star icon up in the top and subscribe to us there. And you can also find us on Facebook, where we announce each and every race we're broadcasting. But pace car about to take it down pit road right now, and we will get this thing underway. 250 laps here in Bristol, Tennessee. Seth DeMerchant on the loud pedal, and green flag is out. Underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Gets a good jump in that number 24 machine, and the number 3 of Carl Dodson now drops in line in second. The third place is the number 11 machine of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Just trying to catch up here with our standings, but no issues so far as I can tell. Maybe one car a little bit slow, the 13 with issues, I think, as he gets loose coming out of the corner there, as we're under caution already. I'm really not sure what brought it out, but we're going to try and find it here. 13, I believe, maybe started from the grid. Oh, there was an issue up in front of him. Can't tell. Oh, 47 and the 21, that's where it was. So Justin Carey. See if I can find out what happened here. Oh, and the 95 of Shorba. Potentially the cause of this, or the 22. 22 with issues. Trying to check up for somebody. This is a very complicated wreck. I'm not sure where the 22 is on the standings, but either way, the 95 of Jacob Shorba. Let's see if we can go to his nose cam. So league owner Jacob Shorba, you can see up in front there we had issues on. Can't tell what car that was, but the 22 locks it up. Jacob Shorba caught up in that, and it's going to be heavy damage for a few drivers here as the 22 took it to pit road as well as Shorba. Roger Gregory also on pit road. I don't know if he has any damage on his race car, but that 43 machine on pit road. Seth the Merchant electing to stay out from that lead position. And like every broadcast, we want to ask the fans, who's your favorite driver in the field? And we will try and keep an eye on them. So type it in chat, and we'll try and take a look throughout the race as Seth the Merchant leading these cars under caution. And we're going to go side by side real quickly to check out some of our sponsors. Double file back up. You can see them get double file up as the pace car lights are off. We're going to be back underway after our first caution here. We are going to bring up the ticker so you can follow along with your favorite drivers throughout the race. But on the front row here, it's Seth the Merchant and Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to get them going. The 24, a great jump. The 11 spins the tires. So does Justin Boyles on that start. Stacks them up just a bit. We're 3 wide with the 42 of Brandon Andrews going up high in the 52 of Evan Longacre stuck in the middle, able to now shuffle out to the outside. But a little bit farther back, the 17 in trouble. That's Rick Webb bouncing off the wall, trying to hold on to it, noses into the wall, catches the 77. Quite a few other drivers. Jacob Shorba also caught up in this. The 27 and the 51 heavily involved as well. That's Derek Schimmel and 51 of Carson Bowers, and that brings out caution number 2, less than 10 laps into this race. Let's go back and take a look. And just taking a look back at the 17 here, this is Rick Webb, bounces it off the wall, gets loose, tries to hang on to it, loose again, overcorrects, slams into that wall. 77 bouncing off. The 47, I want to take a look from his view. That's Derek Runge. Heavy nose damage on that race car. But let's go back and take a look. This is the long race car. Derek Runge here. You can see the 17 all over. The 77 was caught up in this somewhat with 47. Yeah, just pretty rough result there from that one. The 51 of Carson Bowers gets turned all the way around as the 2 went flying off him, off the outside wall. Jordan Brockle. Let's see if we can get a view of that race car. Just trying to avoid it, gets kind of hooked by the 47. Didn't really get on the brakes as hard as he probably should have, but caught up heavily in this. Lots of race cars going to be done for the night, I believe. And that is unfortunate. Only 10 laps into the race. We're going to have race cars that are done. And I'm not sure if we actually got to some of our other commercials, but we're going to run a quick iRacing ad here, and we'll be right back. Race car dives to pit road. We are back underway just in time. The 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin now under fire from the 10 of Justin Boyles, last night's co-commentator. We've got spinning going on already, 36-19, 42. Curtis Valenzuela, I'm not sure what happened here, if he just got rear-ended, but I believe that car went around first before anyone. Let's take a look. A little tap there from the 19. They all stack up behind 92. Heavy damage, I think possibly a blown engine for one of these race cars too. But the drivers out front probably wanting to get going under green for a little while just so they can actually get a rhythm in. And start to use these tires that they put on these race cars. But Seth the Merchant currently leading the way. He's led the whole race so far. And we do have one vote in the chat for number 27. That's Derek Schimmel in the number 27 machine. So one vote for Derek to win tonight's event. He is up 7 spots, but already down 1 lap. But that's not necessarily a deal breaker. He's got a long ways to go in this race. We're not even a tenth of the way through. As he's actually going to get the lucky dog here. So Schimmel, as we're watching him, gets back up on the lead lap. Looks like Jacob Sharma going to bring it down pit road. And maybe they'll try and put a nose back on that race car, as right now he's basically driving an open wheel modified, at least the front half of the race car. A few other drivers, James Love on pit road as well in the number 66 machine. He is up a few positions from where he started and still on the lead lap. Brian Pizzakemi making a stop here in that 48 machine. The field starting to work their way out of turn number 2, I believe. Let's see if we can get a quick interview with Seth the Merchant. Let's see if I can find him here. So he drops it down on the apron for the moment. I do not see Seth in Discord here, so... looks like we'll have to talk to him later. Hopefully he does get into our Discord channel, and we can give him a quick interview here. But big shout out to our sponsors once again. That's going to be Rapid Fire Pizza. You can type in the chat !pizza to learn more about that restaurant. They offer delicious custom-made pizzas, made to order, very quick, 3 minutes turnaround time for those. So that's pretty cool that they can cook a pizza so quickly. But check them out. You can type in !pizza and head on over to their website. It looks like pace car lights are off, so on the front row this time it's going to be Justin Boyles, last night's co-commentator, along with Seth the Merchant, and hopefully these drivers can get going for a little bit longer this time and, you know, put some laps underneath their race cars now. Actually, green flag back out, so we were in rewinds. The Merchant, great jump on the restart, and Justin Boyles in sole possession of second, but third place. The 41 on the outside, the 11 down low. They're battling for that position. The Aris Mustang versus the 11 FedEx Camry. 53 of Daniel Hallis now up on the outside and trying to challenge to get inside that top four, as the 5 of Butcher Benjamin dropping into 5th. Now under pressure from Brandon Andrews, who we saw caught up in something a little bit earlier. He made contact with the 19, but the 8 of Spencer Tart now inside the top 10. He's trying to hold off Jonathan Hernandez in that beautiful number 88 Valvoline Camaro. And Jonathan with a little bit of damage on the nose of that race car, up 10 spots from where he started though, so going in the right direction. Looking at Jonathan Digger here just outside the top 10, and he is in front of Curtis Valenzuela, who's got some damage on that race car. But everybody keeping it clean and green for right now. Hopefully I don't jinx it, but Seth the Merchant starting to gap the field, 1.4 seconds back to Justin Boyles, who is running pretty well, but going to be under pressure from his teammate here pretty soon. Chris Etcheper is making his way forward. The 53 also with a big charge, up 4 spots so far. This battle happening, as I said, just about over a second and a half behind our leader. And the weather the temp for the track is actually jumping up as we speak. The longer that these drivers run, the hotter it's going to get and the more slick it's going to be. And I believe we had an issue with the number 4 of Jeremy Boucher. We bring out this caution back under yellow. Let's go take a look. It's just coming out of the corner. Yep, gets sideways. Just kind of bounces it off the inside wall. Not too hard, but not going to help that race car in any ways. That Busch machine gets going, and he is now 1 lap down because of that. We'll see if the leaders decide to come down. Seth the Merchant does make the move, along with Justin Boyles, Chris Etcheper, and we'll have to see who stays out, because I think that list might be shorter than those who come in. Looks like Taylor Butcher Benjamin in this 11 FedEx machine going to stay out. Evan Longacre in the 52 also electing to stay out. And we'll see if anybody tries 2 tires here tonight, but I think every race car on track is a little bit loose, so probably not going to help that condition if they try to take 2. A very close battle off pit road. Seth the Merchant just beating out Justin Boyles. I do not see Seth the Merchant in here, so I'm going to try and pull up second place then, or second place at least coming into the pit cycle there, and that's going to be Justin Boyles. Justin Boyles, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do, Adam. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Well, you got a different perspective tonight, but looks like you got some pretty good speed in that race car, although it looks like you're maybe dropping back right now. Did you get a speeding penalty or something?
I did. I got a little excited there trying to beat Seth off pit road and got up to 38. kind of gassed a little too early. So I'm going to the back. So same old perspective now.
Yeah, it's been a little bit caution filled so far, and is that because of the track temperature? You think it's just pretty slick out here, and drivers are having a tough time holding on to it?
I think that's exactly what it is. We had a lot of guys who either didn't get a chance to lay down a qualifying lap or didn't qualify, and they're pretty fast. And it sounds like they've been trying to drive up through the field. And between that and a lot of guys who are just, having handling issues and track temps, and it's just tough to drive around this place, man.
Yes, definitely, and we talked about it a lot yesterday with Turn 4 being the slick area of the track. But how's your car handling for you here tonight?
So far, so good. I haven't really pushed it too hard, and I've been hanging around the top, just trying to get around here. I know if I can keep a clean race car, especially based off of last night, that I'll be okay. So, but now going to have a little work cut out for me. I'm probably not going to push it too hard, but I do want to climb back through this and get some stage points. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will be watching you throughout the race as well, but you know the routine. Before we let you go to try and make your way forward, what's your favorite rapid fire pizza topping?
Ham and pineapple, but I also enjoy a regular meats pizza with mustard on it. So.
Oh, that's a different one. All right, Justin. Well, good luck, and good talking with you again. Hopefully we talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Driver number 10, Justin Boyles there. Got a speeding penalty coming out trying to race Seth the Merchant, but Rick Webb and Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to be the two on the front row. The top three did not come down pit road this time by. So the three of Dodson, a huge jump, shot out of a cannon there on that restart. And now Seth the Merchant trying to take it 3 wide, thinks better of it, and instead goes to the low side of the 17, but looks like Webb struggling here with 18-lap-old tires, just not able to get it going very well, and he also has damage on that race car, so we will have to see what he's able to do. As the Merchant, you can see he's got Superman on the hood. That car looks like it's got the power of Superman, as he's just driving right up behind the leaders and putting the nose to the back bumper of the 11 right there. Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to try and hold him off, but I don't think it's going to happen. Seth the Merchant driving just out on the outside. They're able to drive right on past, and he will retake the lead. So Seth the Merchant back to the front. Carl Dodson now able to get by Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Dodson on 19-lap-old tires, but the 11 on 37-lap-old tires, having not made a stop yet. And Chris Etchepair, this 41 machine, racing side by side with Spencer Tart. Tart getting a little bit tight out of the corner in the 17 now, struggling and continuing to drop. The 88 of Hernandez driving right on by. Rick Webb comes up behind him now, and the 53 makes the move first. So Hallis down to the inside of Longacre, but really close racing right there out of turn 4. The 17 got loose and came right down next to the 53, almost touched doors with him, but they keep it straight here. And the 32 of Christopher White we're taking a look at. Haven't heard anything from this machine just yet, but he is outside the top 10 in 13th after starting inside the top 10. And, we'll see what he has to make up positions here. But Justin Boyles back in the 10, just kind of riding it out like he said. Roger Gregory in the 43 machine up quite a few spots and trying to complete a pass on the lap car of Justin Carey in that 21 machine. But we're past halfway in the stage. Seth the Merchant out in front by almost 2 seconds now. And it doesn't look like any issues for the moment. We've got a couple cars sitting on pit road. That's Carson Bowers, who's got heavy damage all around. Looks like he's actually going to take it behind the wall. And the 66 of James Love also on pit road. But that machine not under power, it looks like, so some issues there. Seth the Merchant continuing to lead. 2.1 seconds, a gap back to Dodson. Let's see if we can find any other battles. Chris Parkman trying to catch up to Jacob Shorba, who's got heavy damage on his race car. The 42 of Brandon Andrews stuck back here a ways, as now we see Justin Boyles making a move by the, what's showing is the number 9 here. But I don't see him. He must be a lap down. Yeah, Troy Sabat 2 laps down in that number 9 Napa machine. And Matthew Benjamin trying to hold off the blank white car. Actually, that is Matthew Benjamin in the 38, but not showing his paint scheme here right now. Over 3 seconds the gap from first to second. Going to be about 25 to go in a couple laps to the end of the stage. And we'll lock him out pretty quickly. 14-second laps or high 14s, low 15s for these drivers. Trying to find some activity on track here. Looks like everybody pretty much straight. The 2 dives down to the apron there. Going to bring it back down pit road. That's Jordan Brockle. And we've got a comment in chat to check out the 3, 8, and 92. And let's see where they are running. Carl Dodson in second. Spencer Tart in that 9th position. And the 92. That is Jonathan Dicker in 4th. I didn't actually see him in the top 5 there. Actually up in the top 5 in 5th position. I'm sorry about that. But he's got heavy pressure from Jonathan Hernandez right behind him. Hernandez backs off for the moment, but going to try and remount a charge here to get up to that 92 machine. And just outside the top 10, it's Josh Bearden, who's in front of Rick Webb, who's on old tires and trying to hold off the 13 of Chris Parkman. As I heard a little bit of contact, somebody brushing the wall here on the front straightaway. We are back under caution. Looks like the 9 involved in this. Troy Sabat, some kind of problems, heavy damage on that race car. So Sabat in trouble here early on. Let's go back and take a look at what happened. Looks like the 9 of Sabat was racing with the 43. 9 gets loose down into the 43. They both slam the wall and keep it down towards the apron, but caution thrown for that. Another one here tonight. That is caution number 5 of the race. And Troy Sabat with significant issues. He came in 7 points below the cut line and not looking good so far tonight. So Sabat in trouble. The 43 of Roger Gregory, he is not in the playoff picture. So struggling, but no real playoff implications for that race car. Seth the Merchant, looks like he just made a pit stop along with a few other drivers. Daniel Hallis electing to stay out on 24-lap-old tires, and we saw that not really work. And we want to thank Jazz New York for following. So thank you so much there, Jazz, for following V-Speed. We really appreciate it. It helps us bring more and more great content to you race fans. And we did just become an affiliate member here on Twitch, so you can actually subscribe to V-Speed now and get some cool emotes and some benefits over just a regular follower. We have 3 levels of subscription. The starting level is going to be Rookie, where you get the V emote, which you can use in chat. And the we have the Road to Pro emote, which gives you the oof emote. So, you know, if somebody's having a rough time out on track, you can throw up the oof and show your sympathy. And then we also have the Pro membership, which includes the Put It Out emote. It's a yellow flag. It says Put It Out. And you guys, I'm sure, pretty familiar with that. A very common phrase for the NASCAR safety crews to say when a caution is thrown. Rude8, thank you so much for following on Twitch. And since we just became an affiliate member, we will be streaming almost exclusively to Twitch, and we'll be posting the replays over on YouTube about 2 days after the live event. So you can always head over to YouTube to V-Speed Broadcasting and see the race replays over there. And you can follow us over on Facebook as well. at facebook.com/vspeedsim, where we announce each and every race that we're broadcasting throughout the week. But we're about to go green here. Set to Merchant on the outside, Daniel Hallis on old tires on the inside. And we'll see what the 53 does on the restart here. Green flag back out 53. You can see the back end not hooked up on that machine as the 24 of DeMerchant, a great restart, able to stay right there with him. The 41 gets a little bump from the 92, but they keep it going. No issues yet. The 88 of Jonathan Hernandez slides up to that outside line. Going to try and make the move on the 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin as they're stacking up behind the 53 of Hallis. And it's crunch time here for stage number 1. So we'll see what happens. 53 brings it down to the apron, just trying to get out of the way. It looks like a Set to Merchant pulling away almost a second the gap to Jonathan Dickert and Chris Etcheper, who are right near each other. Jonathan Hernandez up inside the top 5, and rounding out the top 5 for the moment is the 11 machine. Carl Dodson now racing side by side with Justin Boyles. Justin recovering well, taking 2 tires on that pit stop to gain some track position, and he is back inside the top 10 like he said he was going to try and do here for the end of the stage. But that car running really well as he's racing with the RCR machine of Carl Dodson. Evan Longacre also inside the top 10 in that Rick Ware racing machine. Brandon Andrews and Josh Bearden in that number 6 race car also in the top 10 in that throwback scheme. Chris Parkman trying to capture a stage point though, racing now with Bearden side by side. As the 13 very loose on the bottom, able to hold on to it and keep up his speed, but it's going to be tough sledding down there. I think it's going to be more and more difficult as you put laps on the tires down low. Just going to start slipping and sliding. We see Ryan Strunk and Christopher White. Actually, Ryan Strunk, and that's the 8 of Spencer Tart. Tart actually a lap down. Not sure what happened, but he is trying to battle it up with these guys, and he's currently the lucky dog position. Out at the front, Set to Merchant unchallenged. Chris Etcheper unchallenged. Jonathan Dickert, though, in third, under pressure from Hernandez. He's going to take that spot. Looks like the 92 just pretty much let him by. And the 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin trying to reel him in here. Only 10 to go until the end of the stage. And it will be on the lap of, or the end of lap 75. Is how they do it here in this league. And right now, battle starting to brew between Brandon Andrews, and that's the 43 machine, actually, who is also off the lead lap. Roger Gregory 3 laps down, but caution back out. 36 machine of Curtis Valenzuela possibly involved, maybe Jacob Shorba. And we will go back and see what happened, but caution out once again. And we're going to try and take a look from here. Oh, 36 was the start, or was involved at the start of this, but I'm not sure what exactly happened. We see the 17 of Rick Webb up on the outside. 36 checks up hard. 48 Brian Pizzakemi gets into him. The 9 making a great move to get right on past that. Troy Sabat trying to salvage whatever he can. We're actually going to go back and take a look at that. Sorry about this. We're trying to get on the right race car, and he was not available, it looks like, during that caution. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to see it from the number 9's perspective, but Seth DeMerchant still leading here in that Superman machine. And that car really looks like it does have the power of Superman in it tonight. It's just really, really fast. Basically all race, just no challenges for that driver. He's led 60 out of the 70 laps that have been run, and the other laps being led by drivers who have tried pit strategy, including Taylor Butcher Benjamin leading 6 so far, and a few others we'll have to see if anybody decides to come down pit road with only a handful of laps remaining. I'm not sure if they're actually going to call the stage here. But this is a good opportunity to introduce one of our other sponsors here in the league. That's going to be Shorba's iRacing Paints. You can head over on Facebook to Shorba's iRacing Paints and get yourself a great custom paint scheme, anywhere between 10 and 20 bucks. So very affordable, and you can make your car look beautiful. I know a lot of drivers in this field actually use Jacob's paint schemes, and got some really nice looking race cars out here. The same goes for yesterday's race. So head over to Shorba's iRacing Paints on Facebook. We just put the link in the chat, so you can check them out there and learn how you can get your own custom paint scheme. And it looks like pace car lights are off. So the field double file, but not really perfectly in line. But we're just about at the end of the stage here. I'm not sure if they're going to throw it or if that was the end of the stage. We'll have to get confirmation from race control on how the stage finishes up there. But to Merchant, your leader, Chris Etcheper second on this restart. Jonathan Hernandez in that 88 machine has made his way forward pretty well in the 24 under the green flag now back at Bristol. Almost the end of stage one, or possibly already completed the end of stage one. And caution back out, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out what happened here. Possibly the 43 involved in this. Let's go take a look. Oh, big wreck. Looks like Curtis Valenzuela once again involved in this, but not sure exactly what happened. Oh, the 4 machine was sitting sideways on the racetrack. Jeremy Boucher. A little bit of contact farther up. That was the 92 of Jonathan Dickert. Taps him just going into the corner. 4 sitting sideways, and then you can see quite a few drivers get stacked up. Brian Pizzakemi caught up in that one, along with a few others. The 3 machine of Carl Dodson able to avoid it, I think. But the Merchant gonna win the stage here. And I believe your top 10 is gonna be as follows. Seth the Merchant, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Christopher White, Daniel Hallis, Chris Parkman, Jacob Shorba showing inside the, oh, okay, he did take it to pit road. Jonathan Dickert gonna be 6th, Spencer Tart 7th, Jonathan Hernandez 8th. Oh no, this is not correct, sorry. Some of these drivers are pitting, so I'm not sure of the overall finishing order, but I know Seth the Merchant able to capture the stage win there for stage number 1. We will see if we get word from race control on the finishing order. And thank you so much, Route 8, for subscribing. Tier 2. Wow, I thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And hopefully those emotes are approved already, and you can use them if you can. Please go ahead and use those in chat. But thank you so much, Route 8, for subscribing here on VSpeed. We really appreciate it. And we will try and continue to bring you the best sim racing broadcasts that we can. Some great leagues so far on our schedule. You can take a look at the schedule below. And we want to thank DOS XL for following. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in here tonight on VSpeed. We really appreciate it. This is the iRacing Fantasy Cup Series, and currently working under caution. This is caution number 7. We've had 4 lead changes at the front, including Seth the Merchant. Taylor Butcher Benjamin has led some laps there in that number 11 machine, and then a handful of others who have tried different pit strategy. They have made their way to the front of the field, but the Merchant always rising back to the front as we are side by side once again. The pace car lights are off. And we'll see if we can get a different camera angle here for the restart. And 24 gets him going once again. Great jump there by that DuPont machine as he drifts back up to the high line and back a little ways. It's got battle raging on for the top 5. The 32 of Christopher White, who has been out on 26-lap old tires. He's dropping back. A few drivers hitting fairly recently include Jonathan Dicker, Daniel Hallis, both 10 laps on their tires, significantly less than the 24 and the 11 in front of them, but Hallis into the wall, able to keep it moving forward as we've got battling back here. It's the 41 of Chris Etcheper racing side by side with Evan Longacre. The 42 of Brandon Andrews watching on and hoping that these two don't make any kind of contact. And Jacob Shorba is still on track. He was just getting more damage fixed in that 95 machine, so he is continuing to race here. 17th position right now, and Matthew Benjamin in that 38, the 36 behind him. That is Curtis Valenzuela, currently 1 lap down, sitting near the lucky dog position with Jeremy Boucher in that 4 machine after the caution that we just had. Currently in the lucky dog spot in 20th, but you can see all the damage on that race car, and it is hurting the performances. Here comes the 36 of Valenzuela, trying to make that pass. Probably going to make the move here in this set of turns. As he gets up on the outside now, probably going to drive right on past that 4 machine, severely wounded. And Chris Parkman brushes the wall there, and up in front of him, it's side by side between Jonathan Hernandez and Jonathan Dickert, the 92 and the 88. Battling it out right now, and Daniel Hallis putting pressure on the number 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. So this is the battle for second position, back under caution once again. It looks like possibly the 38 of Matthew Benjamin involved in this one. So let's go back and take a look. Now our 8th caution of the day. Oh, just a little bit too close to when it happened. But the 38 here is showing a full white car, so that is the car to look at. You can see the back end just comes out. He loses it. We kind of lose him for a moment. I think just basically stopping on track, going too slow with cars coming up behind him. That triggered the caution. And Matthew Benjamin, last driver on the lead lap in that number 38 machine, but definitely not going the way he'd like it to so far. The race car obviously not to his liking. Seth the Merchant making his way down pit road now, as well as Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Jonathan Dicker staying out, Brandon Andrews staying out, Ryan Strunk also staying out. We'll see if these drivers actually have to pit on the back straightaway. And 77 will pit. Jacob Shorba also making it down onto the back straightaway here in that number 95 machine. 36 of Valenzuela right behind him. So a handful of drivers. That promotes Jonathan Dickert to the lead, so a new leader. And like we mentioned, stage number 2 gonna end at lap 150. Thank you so much, KSI Rageaholic, for the subscription. You'll have access to some new emotes, or at least the V emote for now. And the more subscriptions we get, the more emotes we can offer. So I know everybody loves those emotes, and they're pretty fun to make. So hopefully we can get a few more of those. But Jonathan Dickert out in front, Brandon Andrews in second, Rick Webb in that number 17 DeWalt machine in third right now. Justin DeReich being scored fourth, that 27 machine in between them. That's Derek Schimmel. We had a comment in chat earlier to keep an eye on him throughout tonight's race. And I don't think we're going to have time for a short interview as they're coming across the line. Lights are still on, so let's actually, I'm going to try and find Seth the Merchant once again. Cannot find him, but let's actually talk to the driver of the number 11. That is Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Hey Taylor, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Taylor, we've seen you try a few different pit strategies, staying out and things like that, so you must feel pretty good about the car on the long run, but how does it feel for you overall so far?
I mean, it feels pretty good for the most part. I'm a lot better on the high side, and although a lot of these restarts I've been starting on the bottom, so I've been having to really work hard, and I'm not feeling the best right now. I got my wisdom teeth taken out yesterday, so I'm trying to push through and see what I can get.
All right, so we won't make you talk too much, but good luck out there. One question before we let you go. What is your favorite rapid-fire pizza topping?
I'd say probably pepperoni.
All right, 10-4 on that. Good luck out there, and hopefully we talk with you later.
Yeah, hopefully that can talk to you later.
All right, and so that is Taylor Butcher Benjamin in the number 11 machine, but Jonathan Dickert, Brandon Andrews up on the front row right now. I got to figure out where Taylor was. Oh, we got spinning going on. The 42 gets turned. 19 goes around. The 3, 6, lots of drivers involved. Chaos on that restart. I'm not sure. I was looking at the Discord chat, but I'm sure you guys all saw when it happened. The 42 tries to put the power down, bounces off the wall. 19 checks up into him, and ultimately 42 gets spun out. Heavy contact for a lot of these race cars. The 52 actually want to get into it. His car had looked pretty good. Evan Longacre in that Jacob Company's Ford Mustang. A little bit of damage on that machine. So 42 though, Brandon Andrews was looking like he had a pretty good race car underneath him here tonight. But that brings out the caution. We'll see if Taylor Butcher Benjamin was caught up in this. He's got a crinkled front end. I think he might have gotten a piece of it, so. Yeah, slams in the back of Seth the Merchant. Luckily, that was all the damage that he got, but it is going to hurt that race car, so unfortunate for Taylor. And I got to move him to the Joe Gibbs room. All right. But Jonathan Dickert maintaining the lead. And the 41 going to get his lap back. That is Chris Etcheper. Actually, he's still one lap down, so maybe just behind the leaders when that all happened. Looks like the 36 is going to make his way back around the pace car when we get the 1 to go sign. Let's see if we can talk to last night's winner, Carl Dodson. He got caught up in that, so we'll wait until he gets off pit road. And he's actually going to sit there for a while, so we will leave him be for the moment. Jonathan Dickert out front, though. I'm going to see if we can find that driver. Jonathan Dickert, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, sir.
Well, John, you're doing a good job out here. You stayed out under this last couple cautions, and you've been running up towards the top 5 for most of the night, but how is the car feeling for you?
It's a little bit tight. I think I might have a little bit toe damage from earlier, but it's feeling pretty good.
We've seen the 24 lead a lot of the race tonight. Do you think you really have a whole lot to contend with that race car?
Seth is a pretty strong car tonight. I don't know if I do. If I do, I might have to give him a little bump and run, but no, I don't have anything for him. I don't.
All right, so we will try and keep an eye on you here for the rest of the race, but you guys are going back green, it looks like, next time. And one question before we let you go. What is your favorite rapid-fire pizza topping?
Pepperoni.
All right, sir. Well, good luck out there, and hopefully we talk to you later.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, so that was Jonathan Dickert. Let's see if I can move him back down to the Richard Childress Racing Room. There we go. He's going to lead the field back under green once again. The 17 of Rick Webb. We've seen him out here before, but better restart for these drivers. Nobody really spinning the tires all that bad. And back underway, we're going to keep an eye on Seth the Merchant as he powers his way back towards the front in that Superman machine. Number 24, he goes up to the high side now, going to probably try and weave through the 77 and the 8 as he comes out of the corner. Dips down now to try and go by on the low side. The 8 of Spencer Tart now in the top 3, so he has recovered nicely after being a lap down just a little while ago. But now the 17 going to be under fire from DeMerchant, and DeMerchant probably not going to have any issue driving on by. But the 8 of Spencer Tart, real issues going into the corner, slams the outside wall. Let's go back and see what happened there. See the back end steps out and he corrects it, but not before slamming into the wall. Now under fire from his teammate there in the 3 machine, Carl Dodson. Jonathan Dickert still out in front, but there's a hard charging 24 machine of Seth the Merchant coming up behind. And this will be the battle for the lead, but it's not going to be a long one by my best estimates. Probably one lap, might even just be one set of corners as the 24 now underneath. Dickert trying to lead this lap. I think he will, but the 24 going to just drive right on past here. And he takes over the lead once again. Seth the Merchant back out front. Next car on relatively fresh tires is Carl Dodson, who started in second. He's had some issues tonight, but right now in 4th position and trying to chase down Rick Webb in that 17 machine. Just at the tail end of the top 10, Taylor Butcher Benjamin racing side by side with Evan Longacre. Both of these drivers caught up in that last caution, and they are stuck behind Daniel Hallis and Ryan Strunk, who are racing side by side as well. We see Spencer Tart struggling once again, getting very loose out of the corner. Here comes Justin DeReich, who ran so well last week. He makes contact there, bouncing off the 8 car back into the outside wall, but they keep it going. The 19 also struggling with the handling in that race car as he's trying to make that pass into the top 5. Spencer Tart down low, the 19 up high, clears him here and able to take over 5th position. Spencer Tart back into 6th. Daniel Hallis right now in 7th, but no front end on that race car. He is doing pretty well in that race machine. Number 53, the 11 of Butcher Benjamin. Not sure what happened here. Possibly the 10 of Justin Boyles. No, oh, actually, I think we just saw a race car sitting down there on the apron, didn't we? Yeah, that's the 27 of Derek Schimmel. One of the fan favorites here tonight brings out this caution. Just tags the outside wall, slams the inside here, and I think his race is going to be over for the number 27 machine. So unfortunate there for Schimmel, as he is not in the playoff picture, but definitely not going to hurt his chances of finding his way in, or definitely not going to help his chances. And out in front, it is Rick Webb. Seth the Merchant once again coming down pit road. Looks like Ryan Strunk currently staying out, going to come in on the back straightaway pit lane. Jacob Shorba electing to stay out. Brian Pizzakemi coming in. Jeremy Boucher going to stay out here along with Josh Bearden, Chris Parkman, Christopher White. Seth the Merchant currently shown as 9th, and we'll have to see how many drivers elect to bring it in this next lap. But we're going to cut quickly to a commercial break, and we will be right back. All right, and we are back, about to go green flag racing once again here at Bristol. To recap, we've had 10 cautions here in the 114 laps that have been run. Approaching halfway, we're still in stage number 2, but out front it's Rick Webb and Josh Bearden now in second. Looks like those Roush teammates trying to get it going here at 17. Good restart. Jonathan Dicker able to slip on past, and he made a pit stop there, but he's going to drive to the inside now of Rick Webb and look to take over the lead once again. Back behind them, though, the 6 stacking up the field. The 11 gets hit by the 8 of Spencer Tart, able to keep it both straight. They're all making contact. The 4, the 95 bouncing off each other, and that's going to send the 4 on his lid, rolling, barrel rolling. Jeremy Boucher unable to end up on all 4 wheels. He's going to have to take it to pit road, and probably going to be his night there for the driver of the Busch Beer Ford Mustang. Let's go back and take a look, see what brought out the actual reason for the caution here. They stacked up in front, but let's take a look from the nose cam of Jeremy Boucher. He gets into the 13 as they all stack up. He gets turned from behind and ends up, oh, I'm sorry about this. We brought our grid up. Jeremy Boucher, you can see just like barrel rolling end over end. Go on board with him here, actually. This is our gyro cam from inside. Oh man, that is dizzying for sure. Boucher in serious trouble after that wreck. And let's see who else got caught up in this. I believe Jacob Shorba was involved. Yeah, 95 hard contact. The 3 also caught up in this, but the 4 really took the brunt of all of that. Josh Bearden kind of stacked them all up going down into the corner, and I think the 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin didn't expect the check up there. Spencer Tart didn't either, but those 2 kept it going. The 13 did all he could to stay off of them, and everybody up in front of the 13 of Parkman able to survive that melee, but a lot of drivers behind involved. And DeMerchant back out front, he was able to slip past Jonathan Dicker, and the top 9 all electing to stay out here. Brian Pizzakemi, first driver off of pit road, in 10th position. And it's going to be about 30 to go to the end of stage 2. 11 cautions, 9 lead changes so far. Has been a fairly interesting race. We haven't got much green flag racing to speak of. Lots of caution laps. But Seth the Merchant has led the majority of them. 88 out of the 119 that have been run. So we see the 9 of Troy Sabat trying to get out in front of the leaders here and stay only 3 laps down. So he continues to get damage fixed on that Napa Camaro. And only 17 drivers on the lead lap. The last of them, Josh Bearden, who stayed out on the previous caution, and looks like maybe a penalty on pit road, going to send him to the back of the line. But at the front, it's DeMerchant and Dickert. And DeMerchant now with rear end damage. I don't think it's going to hurt him too much in the 92, just a touch of front end damage. I really don't think there's a car in the field with no damage. As we are approaching halfway, it's been a race of attrition, and I think it will continue to be. We still have quite a few race cars out on track, and lots of them damaged, and a lot of them not handling very well. Track temp has come down 5 degrees from where it was earlier, so that will help with the grip, and hopefully we see a little bit less of the sliding around. But 24 of DeMerchant gets him going. Green flag back in the air at Bristol Motor Speedway here in Tennessee. Approaching the halfway mark, and about 25 or so to go here to the end of stage number 2. The 24, just the class of the field. Jonathan Dickert doing his best to keep up, and Evan Longacre making his way forward now into the top 3. Spencer Tart has recovered well, currently in 4th, but under fire from Jonathan Hernandez in that Hendrick Motorsports Valvoline Camaro. Possibly some issues for Schimmel. No, Schimmel actually coming back down pit road. So 19 catches the wall there, running behind his teammate. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, they're just outside the top 10. 77 of Ryan Strunk up high at 53 of Hallis, finally with the nose put back on that race car. He is in the top 10, so done a good job of maintaining lead lap status. 77 of Rick Webb, or 77 of Ryan Strunk, I'm sorry, drifts up a little bit on entry, gets the back end out from underneath him, and that seems to be the case for a lot of drivers with the loose on entry condition, as DeMerchant 1 and about a half seconds out in front of Jonathan Dicker. Evan Longacre about a half second back from Dicker, and about a half second back to Spencer Tart, Jonathan Hernandez, and Chris Parkman in that 13 Budweiser machine. Merchant, the class of the field here, just driving away 1.5 seconds ahead. Jonathan Dicker, we heard him say he didn't really have anything for the 24, or probably didn't, and right now that seems to be the case, but we have not had the long run, and we don't know the kind of speed that these race cars have on the long run, but right now the battle is on for that top 5. The 88 of Jonathan Hernandez, the 8 of Spencer Tart, racing hard right now side by side. The 8 up high, trying to work that high groove and get the momentum out of the corner. Looks like it might work for him here, but caution back out. Looks like involving the 10, potentially. Or actually, it looks like maybe the 14 of Richard Springer involved in this. Let's go back and take a look. Did indeed involve Richard Springer. No number on that race car, but the 9 of Troy Sabat down low just barely catches the left rear quarter panel, sends Richard down into the wall. I don't think anybody else runs into him, but you can see the damage, the blown engine on that race car. He's going to be sitting on pit road for quite a while, as he is right now, just arriving onto pit road, but 4 laps down for that race car. And that brings out caution number 12 of the race tonight. And we are approaching the end of stage 2. We see the number 3 car, Carl Dodson. Not sure what's going on here. He's just sitting on the track. 14 laps down. Maybe that car blew up and he's not able to get it back to pit road, but actually gets him rolling here. Maybe just had to wait for the field to get right on by. That's the Merchant once again bringing it down pit road. He did win stage number 1 and can afford to drop back a little bit. I think he's been really the class of field. No challenge from anyone else out there. Everybody making their way on the pit road. And I do not see anyone staying out. I don't see any 2-tire stops either. Everyone taking 4. The Merchant wins the battle off pit road on the front straightaway and will regain the lead. Right now, Jacob Shorba, Brian Pizzakemi, and the 77 of Ryan Strunk on pit road on the backstretch, trying to make their way out. If you're enjoying the race, consider subscribing or following here on Twitch. We would really appreciate it. Helps us bring more and more great racing content to you each and every week. We are live on Twitch right now, but we post our race replays over on YouTube. That's V-Speed Broadcasting, and you can check them out over there. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/VSpeedSim, where we post each and every race that we're going to be broadcasting, so you can stay notified over there. You can also stay notified here by following and enabling notifications. You'll get notified whenever we go live. And the schedule is down below, so you can keep track of that there too, and hopefully that gives you a good idea of when we'll be broadcasting. And next week we are off from broadcasting, or not next week, Actually, yes, next week we will be off from broadcasting, and then the week following as well. So a couple weeks in a row we won't be broadcasting. And so we want to thank all of the subscribers who subscribed tonight. This is actually going to be our last broadcast until September. So thank you guys so much for subscribing. We'll run some race reruns in the meantime next week. Probably these same races, and you can enjoy that content. It's not the same really as live racing, but it's still something at least to enjoy. As we are currently working under caution, 24 machine out in front, 92 of Jonathan Dicker. Gonna try and challenge him here. I think unless the Merchant has some significant issues, that race car just seems to be leaps and bounds beyond anyone else in the field. But it is Bristol, and really anything can happen. And with 17 drivers still on the lead lap, it could be anyone's shot to win this. As the Merchant, gonna get him going once again. Good restart, but the 92, Dicker, great restart for him. That's probably the best we've seen from anyone going up against the Merchant. You can see the 24 just drives right on past Sparks, flying out of that race car as he's dragging his track bar mounts and things like that. 52, battling now side by side with Spencer Tart. So Evan Longacre back inside the top 5. 53, Daniel Hallis trying to get up inside the top 5. Taylor Butcher Benjamin looking for a few more stage points. The 8, a little tap there, gets sent down into the corner sideways, slams the wall of 41, nowhere to go. And they stack up here. 41 machine of Chris Etcheper. Gonna blow his engine here, and that is gonna end the night of that Eris race car, I believe. The 6 also heavily involved in that. That was Josh Bearden hitting pretty much head on. That's gonna do it for race cars. And let's take a look at Spencer Tart and kind of see how this all started. It looks like a little contact with the 53. He comes up into him and then just tries to correct it and save it. Slams with the driver's side, gets hit by the 41 there. The 6 collected into the 41 as well. And this is probably a wild ride looking from Chris Etcheper. Let's go back to the driver cam. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the wrong race car. We'll see it here in just a second, I think. See the 8 sliding down there. And 41 just didn't really lift a whole lot, but nowhere for him to go, and the 6 slams him head on following the initial contact. So Etcheper going to be done here, as he has taken it behind the wall. Seth the Merchant continues to lead. We're going to cut quickly to another commercial break, and we will be right back.
just about to take the green once again. Set the Merchant out in front. Going to be Jonathan Dickert to his outside. The 88 of Jonathan Hernandez in third. And going to try and chase those two down. But the Merchant, great start once again. Jonathan Dickert trying to keep up. We are 5 laps away from the end of the stage, and looks like the Merchant trying to sweep the stages here. He was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, and that speed really showing here tonight. As we see that battle, it looks like for about 7th position, the 19 of DeRike up on the high side, Daniel Hallis down low as they battle it out. Now he turns 3 and 4. Across the start-finish line, the 19 has the position. That's 6th and 7th. 17 of Rick Webb trying to chase those two down. It looks like he'll slide in right behind the 53, but here comes the 77, Ryan Strunk. It's just a few more laps to the end of the stage. We'll see if we can keep it green. Chris Parkman out in front of Christopher White and the number 3 of Carl Dodson. Dodson 14 laps off the pace, but still has apparently pretty good speed in that race car as he is battling with drivers up right outside the top 10. At the front, it's all set. The Merchant led 117 laps out of the 148 so far. Just absolutely dominant so far. Dickert trying to hold off Jonathan Hernandez. This is for 2nd position. This will be good stage points for both of these drivers. And Hernandez currently 12th in the standings. And I don't see Jonathan Dickert currently in the top 20 in points. So maybe making his first few starts here, but caution is out, and that's going to do it for stage number 2. Seth the Merchant wins the stage, the 2nd straight stage for that driver. And let's go through the top 10 finishers. Seth the Merchant, Jonathan Hernandez 2nd in the stage, Jonathan Dickert 3rd, Evan Longacre 4th, Taylor Butcher Benjamin 5th, Justin DeRike 6th, Daniel Hallett 7th, Rick Webb 8th, Ryan Strunk 9th, and Christopher White in that number 32 machine rounds out the top 10 in stage number 2. Good job by the drivers to keep it green for that stint, and we have less than 100 laps to go now. Meanwhile, in the Real Cup race, they are about 3/4 of the way through. Looks like Kyle Busch currently out front, so maybe some race fans not too happy about that, I am sure. Looks like Chris Parkman electing to stay out here. He's got 18 laps on the tires. Ryan Pizzakemi also staying out 10 laps on the tires. And Brandon Andrews, looks like he was possibly a lucky dog here in that number 42 Credit One machine. But that car absolutely destroyed as he cuts down in front of Justin DeRike to get to pit road to try and get some more of the damage fixed. And once again, we want to thank you for tuning in. If you're enjoying the race and you know any of these drivers in here, give them a shout out, and we'll try and keep an eye on them for the remainder of the event. And comment down below who you think is going to win. I think my pick right now is Seth the Merchant. As Pizzakemi makes it down pit road, the Merchant regains the lead. Jonathan Hernandez in the number 88. I'm going to see if I can get a quick couple questions in with him, assuming we do not take the one to go this time by. Doesn't quite look like it, so let's see if we can grab Jonathan Hernandez for 2 quick questions. Jonathan Hernandez, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, Adam. How you doing?
Good. Your car's looking pretty good out there tonight. You think you got any speed to contend with your teammate in the 24?
It will be close, depending on how much of a run we get. I know he's pretty fast on long run through the practice we had over the week, but I think I would have a shot depending on how many short runs we get, especially if we have a green white checker.
yeah, you've been up in the top 5 or top 10 basically the entire race, and it's really been a battle of attrition. So hopefully you can keep it up towards the front end, at least give him a challenge here for this last run. But before we let you go, what is your favorite rapid fire pizza topping?
Oh, that would be difficult. I would have. I can't choose one. I'm just gonna go with the classic. I'm gonna go with the classic pepperoni.
All right, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was Jonathan Hernandez. We are back underway. Just had to drop him into the Hendrick Motorsports booth there. But Hernandez taking over second position. Jonathan Dickert now back to third, and those two cars have been pretty evenly matched here. 24 of DeMerchant, really the classic field, but here comes the 19 of DeRike and the 52 of Longacre starting to charge towards the front. And DeRike, no back bumper on that race car, but some might call that weight reduction and possibly even improving the handling. I remember Kyle Busch had a similar issue with the back panel kind of flopping around on that race car, I think last year, or maybe it was even this spring, but he ended up driving to victory lane in that race, as it looks like the Hendrick Motorsports machines out in front here. Brian Pizzakemi currently 13th, and the number 9 of Troy Sabat back to 1 lap down, so the driver of the 9 Napa machine recovering nicely here, so definitely got to keep an eye on him and see where he ends up. And as far as battles on track, looks like the 32 of Christopher White peeking to the inside of Rick Webb, not able to get the run there out of turn 2. And right behind them, it's Matthew Benjamin in that all-white race car. And this battle is just outside the top 10. Pizzakemi versus Brandon Andrews. Jacob Shorba still on the lead lap, and actually last driver on the lead lap in the Ollie's Bargain Outlet Camry. And here, contact a bit farther up. Not sure what happened there. Looks like the 66 possibly with issues. See if I can find that race car on track. Oh, yep, 66 goes around. Let's see what brought it out. So this is James Love, currently 94 laps down, and he was sitting on pit road for quite a while, and that race car looks pristine. Just slips up into the 36 there, able to lock it down and actually stay off the inside wall. So good job by that driver to avoid any further contact as he was trying to back it up and eventually gets it going once again. But 94 laps down, currently scored in that 27th position in the Exide Batteries machine. And out at front now, it is Justin DeRike in the number 19. As DeMerchant and quite a few others make their way down pit road, but see who comes in and who elects to stay out. Looks like the top 5 at least all staying out, and with only about 10 or so laps on the tires. Shouldn't be too far off on handling. DeMerchant will come out. He's actually going to be scored in that 5th position, so it looks like whoever was in the top 5 ended up coming down pit road. Justin DeRike, though, still electing to stay out, so he will probably lead the field here on this restart. And just trying to get the track position, it looks like, and best way to do it is by staying out, but you also risk the fast cars coming up behind you and something potentially happening there. We'll have to see how this goes. Hasn't really worked out for anyone else yet, and actually has caused a couple wrecks that we've seen here tonight. And we want to give a shout out to the last person that followed. Let me see who that was. Aaron Latham, 92. Thank you so much for following. V-Speed is here to bring you the best sim racing action, so thank you for following, and hopefully you enjoyed the stream here tonight. It's been an action-packed race, 15 cautions in the 166 laps that have been run. But we are
just a little bit less, or a little bit over 80 laps from the finish of this race, and even with the longer pace laps here, there's still not too long, and this race still moves by pretty quickly. Looks like DeRike may be electing to take the outside line. Yes, he does. The 17 of Rick Webb going to be on the inside now for the restart here. And we've seen Rick restart on the front row multiple times, but hasn't really been able to maintain inside the top 5 at any point during the race. But he has led 5 laps while trying some pit strategy, and we'll see what he can do here on these old tires. Only the top 2 actually ended up staying out. Jonathan Hernandez winning the battle off pit road in that number 88 machine. And so the Hendricks teammates side by side, but at the front row, it's the Gibbs machine of Justin DeRike going to get him going. Green flag back in the air at 17. Oh, he spins the tires. Jonathan Hernandez right into him. Contact, he goes around. 88-24 involved. And it's a stack up here on the front straightaway going into turn 1. They're all stopped here, and it looks like a junkyard. The 19 of Justin DeRike losing it. The 88 getting into him, and severe damage. Seth the Merchant caught up in this as well, but potentially escaped with minimal damage. We'll have to see what that does to that race car, as he has been just so incredibly dominant. It would be unfortunate for him to be lost. That was DeRike losing it on the initial start. As he gets going, you can see struggling, gets slammed from behind, and that sends him for the spin cycle. The 52 involved, 66 I think navigated nicely through that. So I actually want to go on board with the nose cam, and this will give us a good idea of what it looked like driving down into turn 1. James Love really not competing for the win at this point, being so far down, but wow, good maneuvering there. I think he just got a little bit on the left front, but let's see all the drivers involved, the 53, 52, a lot of drivers up in the top 5 that have been contenders involved in this. Rick Webb escapes nicely and actually inherits the lead. Taylor Butcher Benjamin into second. And to Merchant now down pit road. We'll see what kind of damage he has on that race car. It looks like pretty heavy damage to the rear end on both sides, and that car actually, I believe, came up off the ground during that caution. Yeah, he hit the end of pit wall, maybe knocked the axle out of it too, so we're going to have to see what happened. As he actually ended up going in reverse to just get away. And I think he probably looped it around here when he got to turn 3 and not even. Loops it around, gets it going back again. Interesting move there as he currently sits on pit road and will go a lap down. So DeMerchant, pole sitter, fastest driver all race, just restarting there in about 5th or 6th position. Caught up in that madness that happened going down into turn 1, and going to change the entire complexion of this race with just over 75 laps to go. Very unfortunate for that driver, but he comes into the race your points leader, also with 3 wins on the season. Or actually, he's the first seed in the chase. Chris Parkman actually scored the most points so far throughout the season, but both of those drivers very safe in terms of playoff status. But Rick Webb, I do not see him inside the top 20, so he is looking for a shot to take a victory here tonight, and he has survived the melee for the most part. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, I do not see him on the
board here either. But 17 of Webb gets him going once again. Green flag back in the air. And Rick Webb out in front. He's got a fast number 11 machine right on the inside of him now. Here comes Jonathan Dickert as well. Dickert able to squeeze by that incident with minimal damage and continue on his way as he looks to the outside of Taylor Butcher Benjamin now. And 52 of Longacre now closing in on this lead battle. Let's see what happens if DeMerchant's still sitting on pit road, so I'm assuming he's done for the night with that rear axle the way it's looking. The 92 of Dickert now to the inside of Rick Webb. This is going to be your battle for the lead going down into turn 3. The 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin up high. The 92 trying to make that pass happen. Not going to be able to do it this time by. But on much fresher tires in that 92 car. And I think that car has just been really second best all night. We'll have to see what he can do. But here comes the 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin down to the inside. Not able to complete the pass there. Evan Longacre peeking to the high line, trying to get to the back bumper of the 92. Can't quite carry the speed, but gets right behind the 11 now. The top 4 have broken away. Ryan Strunk a few car lengths back, as well as Jonathan Hernandez, who continues to run out there, but I would worry about the engine cooling capabilities of that race car, even with no nose on it. I think probably broke a radiator line or oil line or something. The 95 of Jacob Shorba has survived this battle of attrition inside the top 10. And Troy Sabat, we mentioned him earlier, one Hendrick car out of the race, but this Hendrick car makes it inside the top 10 now as he gets right up on the back bumper of Jacob Shorba. And I'd watch out for this number 9 race car. Troy Sabat comes in right on the cut line and looking for as much as he can, but he gets loose there. Saves it coming out of turn 2, but scary moment for the driver of the 9 Napa machine, and glad we caught that on camera, but he holds on to it and lives to race another lap at least. He goes down into turn 1 this time, tries a different line, but tags the wall that time by, and really no pressure from anyone around him. DeReich quite a ways back. Out in front, Jonathan Dickert having an issue, contact, and they are, oh, the 53 involved. And the 36 comes in at the end and gets a piece of that. But the 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin drivers battling for the lead. Caught up in this one and bringing out another caution. No one safe here tonight. As the 92 looks like he was going down to the inside. I'm going to have to see what happened here. Coming out of turn 4. 92 slides up behind Rick Webb. They go down into turn 1. And Jonathan Dickert dives to the inside here in 3. 11 of Taylor Butcher Benjamin. 92 makes contact, gets loose, hits the 11, shoots him up into the racing groove. They both slide up there. The 53 nowhere to go, couldn't stop himself in time, and that's going to hurt his chances here tonight. 36 caught up at the tail end, but he was already off the lead lap. Curtis Valenzuela caught up in so much tonight, and really all of our top contenders out of commission here. And like I said earlier, you know, it looked like the 24 had this win in the bag, and I think really he did if things had gone correctly, but he is done for the night. The 9 of Troy Sabat able to continue on his way is rising back towards the front, and right now Jacob Shorba shown as your leader, making his return to the series after a few weeks, I believe, with computer problems. But he is going to bring it down pit road. Jacob Shorba leading 1 lap here tonight. That car destroyed, but he has run it out, and we're down to 14 drivers on the lead lap. Taylor Butcher Benjamin at the tail end of the lead lap. Chris Parkman making his way off pit road. He's currently scored in that 12th position. And I'm going to take a quick look at the points here and just see where the drivers around the cut line are running. So Jordan Brockle comes in 10 points above the cut line. And Brockle currently scored 29th. He is out of the race.
that's not good for him. Justin Boyle's only 16 above the cut line. We talked with Justin earlier. He's out of the race in 26, so he'll gain a couple points, but Alex Pelican did not start. He was in 13th coming in. Jonathan Hernandez, Curtis Valenzuela, pretty safe right now, but you know, they've had some issues here tonight as well. Troy Sabat, just 7 below that line. Derek Runge, also out in 31st, so it's looking like Troy Sabat, if he can at least finish this race, will make his way back into the top 16. And James Love also just on the outside looking in, and he is back on track and trying to get as many points as he can, and looking like he can probably grab about 6 or 7 more points here before the end of it. Ryan Strunk comes in 34 points outside of the cut line. He's currently 3rd on track and looking for a win. Matthew Benjamin, the last one really in the picture, 37 points out, and he is 8th on track, so still in contention for some of these drivers. Is Rick Webb going to get him going one more time? Evan Longacre to the inside. And the playoff picture really going to shake up after this race. The 17 of Webb gets him going. Longacre down low. I think the 52 has been climbing towards the front, and we'll see if he has anything to challenge for that lead position. He gets down low, still on the inside, trying to get the run, but the 77 have strunk up high, and we've seen the 77 have issues throughout the race with loose entry into the corner. As now the 52 rubs the wall. 77 right on his back bumper, backs off a little bit, but Longacre, a huge run out of turn 2 as we are closing in on 50 laps to go. Longacre started 6th, currently in that 2nd position. That car may be the cleanest of anyone. The 77 is very clean, at least the front end is. The back end a little bit crumpled up, but the battle for the lead is on now. Evan Longacre peeking to the inside of Rick Webb. Not able to do it that time by, and the top 4 once again kind of breaking away. Brian Pizzakemi up in the top 5 now, out in front of Justin DeReich. And DeReich just all by himself on an island here. Troy Sabat in 7th, trying to close in. Jonathan Hernandez here, Chris Parkman, and Jacob Shorba round out the top 10 at the moment. The battle is on for just outside the top 10. It's Brandon Andrews and the all-white machine of Matthew Benjamin right behind him. Daniel Hallis still running, but that car now missing a hood as well. And I'm pretty sure he had the nose put back on that car at one point in this race, so that new nose got destroyed, and also his hood taken with it. But out in front, it is Rick Webb. Kind of an unlikely story. Started 17th, 30 laps led here tonight on some different types of pit strategy. And he's leading the way over Evan Longacre, but Longacre close in tow. And I think that 52 maybe is a little more speed, just doesn't know exactly where to put the race car to get the most out of it, as he is right there in reach of that lead position. Ryan Strunk just back here in front of 32 and 48 who have started to battle. The 48 closing in. Christopher White starting to struggle a little bit as he drifts up in the corner there. 48 cuts down low. The 32, you can see it snap there. He was able to hold on to it, but that driver not going to be too happy with the way his race car is handling. Having to save the car like that. Gets passed by Pizzakemi now, who moves up into the 4th position. Justin DeReich starting to close in on those two. And Jonathan Hernandez also starting to get pressure from the driver of the number 9, Troy Sabat. Actually, Sabat losing that position to Hernandez. And Sabat still in the top 10 and just trying to finish this thing out and gain some points to get back in playoff contention. 52 of Longacre now behind Rick Webb as he gets loose. They both got loose out of 4, but the 52 able to drive it down to the low side of the track. And we are getting close to, I think, running out of time here. This may be a time session. And the race has been going for about an hour and a half at this point. 200 laps in. Only
less than 50 to go. And comment down below who you think is going to win tonight's event with all the really top contenders out of it. Rick Webb has taken over the top spot, and like I said, I didn't see him in our top 20 in points, but he's looking for a victory here. Evan Longacre comes in, also not in the top 20. I believe he is a fill-in driver. I'll have to confirm that, but in that 52 machine, he is not in the top 20, maybe just outside that playoff picture. And Ryan Strunk trying to gain as many points as he can, as he is 34 back of the cutoff line. And at 77 in good position to pick up quite a bit with Pizzakemi. One of your top 10 points drivers, no wins on the season, but locked in for the most part. He is trying to close in on that third position and possibly get out of here with a nice solid finish. And up at the front, things have started to separate. Rick Webb out in front now, almost 3/4 of a second back to Evan Longacre, who's obviously started to struggle with the handling of that race car. He is dropping like a rock. And Ryan Strunk now closing in with the 48 right on his bumper. So he's got the foot to the floor trying to get away and maintain the top 3 position. Gets a little bit loose out of the corner. 48 closes in about a car length. Right now, Ryan Strunk trying to hold on to that position. Rick Webb's actually not pulling away now, just about half a second back to Evan Longacre. And 40 laps to go this next time by. We've probably had our longest green flag run of the race right now. I'm trying to see these drivers just outside the top 10. What's going on back here? Looks like Brandon Andrews able to get away from the 38, and he's trying to catch back up to the 53, but Jacob Shorebud riding all by himself up here in 10th position. After starting in 24th, he has led a lap here, but that car absolutely destroyed on both ends of it. Chris Parkman here just up in front of him, actually about 6 seconds in front of him. It's going to be a tall order for the driver of the numbers 95 to catch up to Parkman, but Rick Webb maintaining this half-second lead, and now Evan Longacre under pressure from Ryan Strunk for that second position. Pizzakemi down low, gets a little bit loose out of the corner. Not able to complete the pass that time by, but really good drive this time in 1 and 2. Able to get the foot down and get the grip out of the corner that he wants. Drives it in shallow here. We'll see if he is able to keep it underneath him. He does. That 48 really hooked up now, trying to close in on the leader and perhaps grab his first win of the season. And Rick Webb still about 6/10 out in front. He's caught up to the 2 lap cars of Brandon Andrews and Matthew Benjamin, who are battling for position on the tail end of the lead. Lap 42, trying to pinch down that 38. 38 gets loose and probably going to surrender that spot as the leaders making their way past now. Webb not able to get by, pretty much boxed in, and that's going to allow these drivers behind him, Evan Longacre and Brian Pizzakemi, to close in. Longacre, you can see the gap just shrinking visually down to under 4/10. If this continues for very long, if the 17 can't get by the 42, really going to cost him some time, but he drives down low. Rick Webb can't make it happen that time by, and that's going to cost him momentum. Here comes Longacre with a huge run out of turn 4. Trying to catch up to the leader as the 42 not wanting to give it up that easily. They're battling hard. 42 trying to stay in the lead lap. 17 loose. Here comes Longacre once again, but he is under heavy fire from the 48. 52 and 48 side by side now for second position. Here comes Pizzakemi down low and trying to clear for second. 52 looked like he was trying to check up for him, and he does give him that position, I think. Shorba down low with issues. He will go a lap down and take it to pit road. Here comes the 48 now to second position. 17 of Webb still trying to make his way past the 42 of Brandon Andrews, really putting up a fight here as the 17 tries to shove him up the track a little. Pizzakemi right there now. top 4 under a blanket, coming to 25 to go. 42 off the wall, gets turned, Pizzakemi involved, that catches Ryan Strunk, and they all go spinning. Strunk able to keep it moving forward, but bouncing off the inside wall, handing Longacre the position. The 32 goes around now, that brings out our caution. Melee involving our leaders and the top 5 runners. And luckily, Rick Webb able to survive all that. Go back to full plays here. Look at what happened between Strunk and the 42. As the 42 was battling with the leader, Rick Webb, 42 bouncing off the wall, hits the 17, goes around, the 48 gets contact, and sends the 77 down to the inside wall, and he bounces right off and continues on his way, and then just a bit farther up the 42. I'm going to see how this all started. This was the beginning of it for that 42, and probably trying to just regain his composure here, and so far off the pace. The 88 catches the apron. 24 of the Merchant back on track, gets into the 32, sending him into the 42, and Christopher White, I think he was able to keep it off the wall actually. Let's just double check here. He was able to lock it down and keep it off that inside wall, so good job by that driver. And we've got West Ham Cab in the chat here pulling for Rick Webb as he actually took it down pit road this time by. See where he cycles out. Evan Longacre staying out, or actually Longacre winning the battle off pit road, so Longacre probably going to inherit the lead as Ryan Strunk coming down pit road now in that very damaged 77. But Rick is subbing tonight for the normal driver of the 17. But Evan Longacre now taking over the lead position. And he will be leading his first laps of the race. We're at 25 to go right now. And we've Evan somehow associated with Rapid Fire Pizza. I think he said he might be a franchise owner, so he is one of the sponsors of this series. And can't see the lights on the pace car just yet, but I believe they are all they're going to be going back double file here, I think, next time by. It's like Taylor Butcher Benjamin going to take the wave around in that heavily damaged race car. Brandon Andrews also trying to get back on the lead lap after bringing out that last incident. Ryan Strunk inside the top 10, but only 12 drivers on the lead lap right now, and really we would only have 10 if these two didn't take the wave around. But the Merchant back out on track, we did mention that. And he is in the top 20, currently in 18th position, led 132 laps here, so over half the race, and it's just got to be disappointing for that driver who comes in currently the top seed in the chase to be caught up in that one wreck. But Longacre here looking to take advantage of all the action that's happened at the front of the field. In that 52 Jacob Company's Rick Ware Racing machine. We will have to see what he can do here. Less than 25 to go. Longacre with control gets him going. Rick Webb down low. Not a great restart as the 9 of Savage struggling on that restart. And he checks up Ryan Strunk behind him, but Strunk just trying to salvage whatever he can with all that contact. Here comes Jonathan Hernandez down to the inside, trying to take over the lead. We talked to him just a little earlier. Didn't have anything for the 24, and that car is beat up, but he is still battling for the lead here. Coming to 20 to go this time by, it is Evan Longacre. Jonathan Hernandez at the front, the 52. Good run out of the corner, able to dive it in here on the high side. 88 trying to work that low line, and I think it's just going to get more and more difficult as he battles down there. But based on how that car looks, that thing is still really fast. The 52 of Longacre, though, his car still has all the fenders on it for the most part. As the 32 of Christopher White bouncing off the wall there coming out of turn 2. That's going to allow the 9 to get to his outside, with the 32 going around. Christopher White able to hold on to it, no caution. Scary moment there as he's still struggling to get the tires back underneath. And 52 still under fire for that lead position. The 88 wants it. This is the battle for the win, but Hernandez struggling off the corner, sliding down low. The 24 slides up into the 19. DeRike stacking them up. The 9 of Sabat behind him. Here comes the 13 of Parkman trying to get inside the top 5. But Troy Sabat working that high line. We're almost 3 wide, but the 13 backs out of it. Here comes Sabat back up high. The 19 of DeRike down low. Evan Longacre out in front by what seems like a mile now that Hernandez is out of the way. The 17 of Rick Webb battling with DeMerchant, who gets caught up. They go sliding to the inside wall. And the 38, nowhere to go, just slams right into Rick Webb, who up until a couple cautions ago was actually doing a great job, leading 58 laps here in Longacre now. Probably thankful he saw the caution, although in his mirror, he's that 88 machine who's given him such a hard time just a few laps ago, so maybe not thankful for that caution. And if you're watching the real NASCAR race, Matt DiBenedetto currently out in front at Bristol. Chase Elliott battling with Brad Keselowski in 2nd position. Or for 2nd position. But that race looks like it's heating up, and we've got about 50 to go in the real world race. So if we can finish this up here in a few minutes, I think we might even be able to catch the end of that one. That would be a popular victory for sure if DiBenedetto could win the race. And meanwhile, in this race, Evan Longacre, I'm going to see if I can get a quick word in with him here. That is Rick Ware Racing. Evan Longacre, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy? Evan, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy? It doesn't sound like we can get a hold of Evan right now. And we're actually going to move him back down with his teammates over at Rick Ware Racing. We might be able to talk to him here in just a few minutes, so we'll see how things go for him in the closing laps. Justin DeRike has found his way into 2nd as Jonathan Hernandez actually deciding to pit on this caution. He will be the first car on fresh tires in 4th. Christopher White in 3rd, but that car having some significant handling issues as he has been very, very loose in that Go Fast Racing Ford Mustang. And we're going to run a quick rapid fire pizza commercial, and we will be right back. We are back double file now. It's going to be 9 to go when we take the green flag here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Evan Longacre, Justin DeRike on the front row. 2nd row, Jonathan Hernandez and Christopher White. Hernandez on fresh tires, the first driver on fresh tires. His teammate right behind him in that number 9 car, also on fresh tires. So it will be interesting to see if the 52 can hold off these drivers behind him. When he takes the green flag, and we are back underway. Spins the tires badly there. coming out of the corner. Here comes Hernandez already to the bottom, and I don't think it's going to be any contest. The 52 struggling. Here comes the 9. Both Hendrick Chevys up into the top 2 now, but the 19 of DeReich throwing a block there on the 32 of Christopher White. Here comes the 13 of Chris Parkman down low. He's also on fresh tires, going to try and make his way forward here, but Jonathan Hernandez, we talked to him earlier. So much trouble here in this second half of the race since we talked to him, but right now out in front and pulling away from his teammate Troy Sabat, who was at one point more than 3 laps down. And these two really needing security going into the playoffs, and Hernandez inside safely, but a win would do it for him, and Sabat just outside the cut line. A second place run here gonna be very good for him if they can run it out here. Evan Longacre holding on for 3rd right now. Justin DeReich trying to hold on to that 4th spot. And Chris Parkman still battling with him side by side. Here comes Brian Pizzacchemi back to the inside. Another Hendrick Chevrolet inside the top 10. And he's trying to find his way back to the top 5. 13 of Parkman sideways, trying to hold on to it. He loses it. And nose it into the inside wall. Sitting on the apron right now. I'm not sure if race control is going to throw the caution for that, but Jonathan Hernandez down and away. The 13 now just getting underway, and caution is thrown. Not what the 88 wanted to see. But that brings out our caution. Caution number 20 tonight. And it's going to take us to NASCAR overtime. So let's just see if anybody makes their way on the pit road. It looks like 52 of Longacre. Going to fake the pit road, not going to actually commit to it. And the 38 of Matthew Benjamin with that beat up machine. Going to bring it down pit road from 8th place. And I'm sure a handful of others will also come down inside the top 10, as there are only 9 cars left on lead lap, the last of them being Matthew Benjamin. So we are actually going to run a quick commercial, and we'll be right back with the overtime action. And double filing back up at the front of the field, Jonathan Hernandez with his teammate Troy Sabat to the outside. And this will be restart number 1 here in overtime. Hopefully we can make it back around to the white flag. Type in the chat who you think is going to come away with the victory here tonight. Right now it's looking like one of those Hendrick Chevrolets, but In row number 2, we've got Evan Longacre and Christopher White. Both strong drivers here tonight. Have been up inside the top 10. The 88 gets going. Good restart. No spinning of the tires. C Cups up to the high line now. Troy Sabat in second. No issues there. Looks like Christopher White has to slot in behind, but here comes the 48 of Brian Fitzkemi trying to join his teammates at the front of the field. We'll see if it can be a Hendrick. 1, 2, 3. They're back coming around. White flag is out. The 88 trying to hold on here. Here comes Troy Sabat trying to capture a win as he starts closing in. Not able to here. Jonathan Hernandez survives the melee at Bristol. Comes away your winner here tonight. Congratulations to Jonathan Hernandez for his victory here tonight. 250 laps at Bristol. He leads the last 12 and takes home the trophy here tonight at the Coliseum. That car looks like it's been through the ringer, and that's because it has here. That 88 Valvoline machine saw quite a bit of contact here tonight, so really pushed that car for all it was worth, and he comes away your winner here tonight. We will be right back after a quick caution with our driver interviews and the final results. And we are back. We're going to be bringing in our winner here tonight, Jonathan Hernandez. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, John, we talked to you earlier, and you weren't sure if you had enough for your teammate, but he was out of the picture, and you came back into the picture here. What'd you find in that race car in those last 15 or so laps?
Well, with the field getting smaller and smaller, as the race went on, the chances I had of getting back to the front were getting a little bit higher. But with that restart incident where the leaders spun their tires and, me and Seth being involved, I thought I was done for a race. I had engine damage. My oil temp was overheating if we had a long run from that. And I thought from there, it was over. I thought if I was going to stay in it, 10th place. But somehow, the cautions fell into our hands and we were able to catch up. And on the final restart, me and my teammate Troy, we made an agreement on figuring out how we're going to do the restart. I told him if he gets up to me, I will let him go by just so he could secure himself into the playoffs. But other than that, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it was a great run by you too. And Troy at one point was multiple laps down, I think 3 laps down. And you come in, I think, 50 points above the cut line, but obviously securing yourself in with the win here. How does that feel moving forward as we get closer to the playoffs?
I feel so good. Simply because there are so many races where I could have won and I just had bad luck on my side or I'll just runner up. But this race, I knew something felt good with the setup I had throughout practice during the week, and I was like, I missed qualifying because I tapped the wall and it didn't count my lap. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to work my way up there, and I tried, and somehow this race fell into my hands. I thought it was gonna be one of my worst tracks of the season.
And you did run incredibly well here, so I mean, you definitely had speed in the race car. It didn't seem like it would be one of your worst tracks, so just incredible effort to stick with it all throughout the race after after you got involved in that. And there was a lot of really big wrecks. Ended up only being 10 cars on the lead lap. And was it just the conditions here tonight, just too hot, or did the drivers just not have the setups really figured out for tonight's race, you think?
It would have to be the conditions. With how hot the track temp was in practice, I was about 5/10 off what I've been the entire week, and I just think with the track conditions being as hot as everyone was expecting, it just made the track a little more slick. And with this package as well, not much really changes with the short track, especially with the 750 engine. But I think everyone just thought it would be their chance, and there were people who had their chance. I've seen people in the lead who haven't been up there all season, but yeah, with the track conditions, I had to adapt to it, and yeah, of course, it worked out in the end for me.
Yeah, and you come away the victor here, and definitely gonna have some momentum moving forward. I'm not exactly sure where we're going the next race. Let me just take a look at the schedule. Are you sure, or do you know which race we're going to next?
I believe I know we're off next week.
Yep.
Cup is off next week. I believe I would say it was Darlington. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna assume Darlington.
No, I think you're right. So how do you feel about going to the Lady in Black over there at Darlington?
I do not have much experience on that track at all. I think once the time comes, we'll get to it. I know next week I will run either in the national or in the truck race, so I'm focused on that at the moment. But Darlington, I think, will be good for us. If I could come away with the top 20 there, it'll be one for me.
Yeah, I think the key to that really is that track is keeping it off the wall as much as you can. I'm sure you'll make contact, and basically anybody who drives more than 10 laps around that place is going to hit the wall. So we wish you luck heading out there, and congratulations once again on winning tonight and securing your spot in the playoffs. Before we let you go to celebrate this victory, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out, to the Hendrick guys. All 4 of us had good runs today. Although our setups, we had different adjustments to it to our liking. We all had good runs throughout the day, even though the end result isn't what we wanted. I also like to thank, Jacob with his paints, if I remember correctly, Shorba's iRacing paints. I know he does great paints, and for the league, he tried to contribute to everyone, and he's done an amazing job with it. Also, I thank our sponsors, Rapid Fire Pizza and Alpha Ornamental Metals. Uh, I'm really trying to get a diecast made for me.
Yeah.
And now I want pizza because I won. I think it was just the pepperoni luck.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's pretty tiring being out there and just trying to survive all that. And you probably work up some hunger from that. Well, go grab a bite, and congratulations once again, and go celebrate. We'll talk to you hopefully soon.
All right, thank you, Adam.
All right, that was our winner here tonight, Troy Sabat, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at Troy's name. Jonathan Hernandez comes away the winner. Second place, Troy Sabat. I didn't think we'd get a chance to talk to him here, but driver of the number 9, Troy Sabat, you got a copy.
Yep.
Well, Troy, you were mired way back in the field for quite a bit of this race, and we noticed you at least 3 laps down, closing in on the halfway point of the race. So, what were you able to do differently and survive the melee that we saw there for the last half?
Well, I was just trying to stay to the back, trying my hardest to stay out of trouble, and which I really did towards the end of the race. I honestly didn't think I was going to make it back up onto the lead lap, but somehow I got back 3 laps and got the second.
Did you think you had the speed in the car to run up towards the front, but you were just trying to play it safe?
I thought I had the speed not with the guys who were fast that started the race, like Seth. He was really fast, but as they started to go, unfortunately, I fortunately was able to get faster and faster.
Yeah, and your car was one of the few, I think, left out on track with a nose and back bumper on it. They're beat up, but they're still on the race car. So, how important was it here to just navigate and try and see far enough ahead to avoid all that?
Well, very important because horsepower is definitely important. And I was down 33 RPM, but somehow I was still able to keep it going.
And keep it going, you did. You powered by some of those other guys on older tires there in the closing laps, and even looked like you maybe had a shot to chase down your teammate there. But you come into tonight's race 7 points outside the cut line, and most of your competitors, or at least the 3 competitors up above you, all finished, I believe, outside the top 25 tonight. So that's going to be huge for you in the point standings. So how does that give you confidence moving forward to Darlington?
It gives me a lot of confidence because Darlington is not really my best track, but as long as I can avoid the wrecks there, I should be able to pull out another good.
Yeah, do you have much experience over at that track, or how do you feel about the Hendrick Motorsports team speed heading over there?
Well, Hendrick Motorsports is just fast overall. We've just been, unfortunately, in a few wrecks in these races, but I can learn the track better and get faster, but from my previous races, I haven't been too.
Well, based on tonight's, experience with the Hendrick Chevys running basically in the top 10 for the whole race, even you being so far back, you had the speed. We look forward to seeing you guys run up there and, contend for another win. But before we let you go to celebrate the second place finish, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I'd like to thank Alpha Ornamental Metals, Rapid Fire Pizza, and Shorba iRacing Paints, and Jonathan Hernandez, the owner of Hendrick Motorsports, for picking me, Jacob Shorba for creating the league, and you for broadcast.
Thank you so much, Troy. Thanks for the time. And I don't know if we asked you this question actually earlier in the race, but what is your favorite rapid-fired pizza topping?
So you asked me this last race. I said pepperoni, but I'm going to change that buffalo chicken. Definitely.
Oh, great choice. Great choice. That's one of my favorites too. So I can definitely recommend that. Thank you so much for the time, Troy. Congratulations on this finish, and hopefully we talk to you soon.
Thank you.
That was second place finisher Troy Sabat. Let's go to third place finisher Evan Longacre. Let's see if we can get a picture of his car on track. That is this one here. Evan Longacre started 6th, led 16 laps tonight. Evan, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. You got me.
Yes, I got you. Well, you were in position to possibly win this thing, and then a late caution brought the 88 right back up to your bumper. Did you think you were going to be able to hold him off, or did you think he had the speed in the car with so many laps on the tires?
The car was really quick. Actually, before that last yellow, where I ended up taking the lead, I had some damage on the front end, and my oil temps were too high, so I was running about half throttle, praying for a yellow, and then I got that yellow. Ended up coming out of the pits first, got lane choice. Everything was good. The car was great all night, no problems with it at all. I mean, it would hook up wherever I wanted to put it pretty much. So that yellow came out after I was in the lead, and I mean, it came down. It was going to come down to who had tires and who didn't have tires. And I assumed if I pitted, they would all stay out, and I'd probably lose 6 spots, and I wouldn't have time to get back up there. If I stayed out, I was hoping I'd have at least 5 guys behind me, and I only had, basically 1 because the 88 was right on my bumper, so I knew it was a losing battle at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to face, the tire disadvantage. And either way, though, I mean, you were able to hold on for that 3rd position. Brian Pizzakemi putting tons of pressure on you there in the last few laps. And ultimately, he wasn't able to get past you. But, we saw you, I think, pretty much around the top 10, around the top 5 for the majority of the race. Did you think you were going to be able to contend with, like the 24 or any of those other guys if they were maybe still in the running?
Yeah, I thought I could. The only guy that I thought was, just flat out, could drive around me after 10 laps, on the inside was the 24. I thought he was probably the only guy that could get around me. So when Jonathan got up to me and then eventually got loose on the inside, I was like, I just got to hold him off for 3 laps. And then after that, your tires are pretty much too worn out to run the bottom and make a pass. So I was like, I thought, as long as the yellow doesn't come out, home clear. But, it's Bristol, so that's stupid thinking.
Yeah, it can strike at any moment pretty much, and really nowhere was safe tonight. So, I mean, how important was it being up towards the front? Did you think that helped you survive a lot of these crashes that we saw here?
Well, it was just mayhem everywhere. I mean, you saw the leaders spin on old tires right in front of the entire field. I mean, I got hit just like everybody else. I just got lucky in that I didn't get hit as hard, or I didn't hit anything as hard. I think I only spun the car actually once. So I mean, and I didn't get pile driven after I was spun. I got lucky with where the car was, and how I got hit and who I hit where. I'm looking at some of the incident points here, and out of the top 22 cars, I have the lowest number of incident points. So I think that was part of it.
Yeah, you're the lowest incident points, I think, in the whole field of really anybody that ran at least half the race. So that's an accomplishment in and of itself, I would say.
Yeah, and it feels good because last night in the Xfinity race, I had the most incident points out of everybody. I think I came back from a lap down 2 or 3 times, and I was in every single wreck except for one, I think, last night. Just horrible luck.
Yeah.
So this feels good.
We saw that. I remember in the 48 car, I think you got more camera time than almost anybody else out there last night. So much better result for you here tonight. And I don't know, are you just filling in here in this series today? Okay.
I actually picked up the ride last night, and I just hopped in a practice session, made it all hot and slippery, and worked on making a setup. Picked up the ride last night, didn't know who my teammates were going to be, went on trading paints, found a Rick Ware Racing paint, threw a 52 on it, and went out there and almost won the damn thing.
Yeah, and got to commend the effort. I mean, you survived quite a bit here tonight. You ran out the entire race, one of only 10 cars on the lead lap. So, I mean, that's an achievement to survive. And, I think it's going to be just as difficult next week at Darlington.
Yeah. I I'm looking forward to. I might try. I'm gonna try and find a ride for that one. I don't know if I'm. I mean, of course, you never know if you're gonna find a car to run in or what the deal is. But I like Bristol, and after the race that I had the other night, I was like, I'd like to have another shot at this. But I was like, maybe I'm stupid for wanting to do this again, but for 100 laps longer. But I mean, I'm disappointed in the best way. Like, I mean, I'm thrilled with the third place finish. It's just whenever you have the lead with 10 to go and you have about a 6.6 second gap, that's why I'm disappointed. Everything else went as well as it could have.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you always want the win, right? Nobody wants to come out of here not winning, but based on how you ran, I think all night, it's still a very solid result and much improved from yesterday. So that's a good takeaway.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll get asked to sub a little bit more often, maybe sometime. So that would be neat.
Yeah, there you go. Well, congratulations on the third place finish here tonight. To wrap things up, I'm gonna actually ask you what your favorite rapid fire pizza topping is, and then you can give us whatever shout outs you'd like to make this possible.
Okay, my favorite rapid fire topping. It's not a topping. It is probably a craft pizza. It is our Hawaiian. At the end of our Hawaiian pizza, we put a cinnamon streusel on top, and it kind of caramelizes on top of the pineapples, the ham, and the bacon, and it's a pretty good time. So not gonna lie about that one. A little bit sweet or spicy sauce on there, and for the next 8 slices, you're having a ball. But there's that one, and then I'd like to thank Alpha Ornamental Metals for sponsoring the Cup Series and putting us on the air with you. Got to thank Shorba's iRacing paints. They always look great. I think all the cars out there that run his paints, which are most of them, I think we got a pretty sharp-looking field out here. Maybe with a few extra dents after tonight, but his paints always look great. I want to thank Jacob for putting the league together and organizing this. It's basically a part-time job for that dude. I want to thank the owner, Rick Ware Racing, for letting me run the car. And obviously thanks to you for broadcasting us and sticking with us on here. We appreciate you doing this on Friday and Saturday nights. Hopefully we help you out just as much as you help us out.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And you talking about that Hawaiian pizza, I am so hungry right now. Hawaiian pizza is one of my favorites, and I love sweet stuff too, so that sounds like a match made in heaven.
The whole pineapple on pizza debate, I'm like, it's not does it belong on it, does it taste good on it?
Yeah.
And absolutely it does, so therefore it belongs.
Yeah, I agree. But congratulations, Evan. Great talking with you here. Go celebrate, and we will catch up with you soon.
Absolutely, sir. Going to go watch the replay of the real race. Apparently, it was a pretty good one, so going to go check that out. You have a great evening, and again, thank you for doing this, and thank you to V-Speed for putting us on the air.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
I'll see you, man. Thanks.
Right. That was third place finisher Evan Longacre. Obviously, very happy. But tonight's winner, Jonathan Hernandez, and we're going to run through our full results here now from Bristol. 250 laps here at the fastest half mile in the world. Jonathan Hernandez comes out on top. Troy Sabat finishing in second. Evan Longacre third. Another Hendrick Chevy in fourth. Brian Pizzakemi started in 25th. Good finish for him. Christopher White fifth. Justin DeReich sixth. Brandon Andrews seventh. Matthew Benjamin eighth. Taylor Butcher Benjamin recovering after being involved in some late incidents in ninth. Rick Webb 10th. And last driver on the lead lap, actually, so only 10 drivers here on the lead lap. 11th place, the 13 of Chris Parkman. Curtis Valenzuela going to finish in 12th here. Josh Beard in 13th. Justin Carey 14th. Ryan Strunk 15th. Seth DeMerchant showing in 15th, actually, so my scoring is off here. Ryan Strunk 16th. Daniel Howe 17th. Jacob Shorba 18th. Jonathan Dicker 19th. And Carl Dodson rounds out the top 20 here. James Love 21st, Richard Springer 22nd, Chris Etchapart 23rd, Spencer Tart 24th, Jeremy Boucher 25th, Derek Schimmel 26th, Justin Boyles 27th, Roger Gregory 28th, Jordan Brockle, who's right around that cut line as well, coming into tonight's race, just 10 points above the cut line. He finishes a dismal 29th position, so not going to be a happy driver of that machine. 30th is Carson Bowers, and then also Derek Runge finishing 31st. He comes in just 7 points above the cut line, going to definitely drop out after his finish here tonight. Timothy Latham finishing in 22nd or 32nd. 33rd was Dallas Hunt, and Robert Carroll not taking the field here tonight. Rounds out the top 34 starters here. But tonight's winner, Jonathan Hernandez, you see him doing that burnout in the background there. He came out on top of this battle of attrition. You have been watching a presentation by V-Speed live right now on Twitch. If you enjoyed the broadcast, please consider following or subscribing. We would really appreciate it, and it helps us bring more and more great racing content to you each and every week. You can also check out the race replays over on YouTube. We'll be posting those a couple days after they have been live here on Twitch. And also on Facebook, you can find our announcements for each and every broadcast. You can also check us out at vspeedsim.com, where we offer some cool merchandise for the iRacing Fantasy Series, as well as other products and design services, broadcasting services, like you saw tonight. Also want to shout out to our sponsors once again that made this race possible. That's Alpha Ornamental Metals, Rapid Fired Pizza, and also Shorba's iRacing Paints. So if you're interested in any of those, just type in the different commands that you see on your screen that we have brought up throughout the stream tonight. I'll actually throw them up right now so you get a good chance to check out our sponsors. So head on over to the links in the chat there, grab some pizza, get some fence work done from Alpha Ornamental Metals, and get yourself a cool custom race scheme from Shorba's iRacing Paints. Thank you so much for tuning in and all the follows and subscriptions tonight. We really appreciate you guys tuning in and hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Until next time, which is going to be a couple weeks from now, everybody stay safe and have a great night.